Hello everyone, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Isaac.
And you're listening to Let's Talk Avatar.
This podcast is a watch-through of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We will be discussing each episode in detail and giving our opinions on it.
So stick around and be a part of the conversation.
Just as a warning, this episode does feature spoilers from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is a teen-rated podcast, so listener discretion is advised. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk Avatar. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Isaac.
And this week, we're back again with episodes 13 through 16, I believe, of the second season of, I was going to say Let's Talk Avatar, but this is Let's Talk Avatar, of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Before we get into this, we just want to take the time to apologize for not posting last week. We had our own personal stuff going on. Hopefully that won't happen again. Also, I'd like to mention that we will have a giveaway coming up at the end of our Avatar: The Last Airbender series. So stay tuned to information on that. I'm not going to say anything about it quite yet, but stay tuned to it for it. Let's just jump right in. Talk about the episodes we have.
So, episode, is it 13?
13.
So, episode 13 is titled The Drill. This is part 2 of 2. Okay, so right off the bat, this is like, you're anticipating a huge confrontation. Because in the previous episode, Aang flies up the walls of Ba Sing Se only to see a giant drill coming for the city walls. And who's in it? Azula and her friends. Can you even call them friends?
Posse.
Posse. This is one of my favorite episodes. What about you?
Yeah, I liked it. It was very action-packed. There were a few scenes where I'm like, okay, like, you know, when they're, like, trying to break down the, like, infrastructure of the drill, and I felt like that took a little bit longer than it needed to.
I thought that was really cool, though, because it's, like, showing how they all play to each other's strengths and actually showing the smart side of Sokka, which I feel like we don't get to see that often.
Yeah, I mean, this episode, I told you this while we were watching it, I really appreciate the way that the gang works together to get stuff done, because they all have, where one lacks, another person compensates for, and so they work together so well, and it's just going to increase as time goes on. Obviously their teamwork will, so it's just, this was one of those episodes where you get to see them all work together and do something to help out Ba Sing Se. I don't think this really is a necessary episode to go into detail about, because there's just a lot. Anyway, there's a drill that's going to hit Ba Sing Se. Aang stops it and fights Azula.
Spoiler alert, it does make it through the wall.
It does.
But not all the way.
Yes. There's a lot of action, a lot of fighting. So there's not really, unless you want us to describe, like, clip for clip, like, Aang kicks his foot, Azula blocks, like, there's really not much we can go into detail about. Just know that this was a very action-packed, exciting episode, I guess you could say.
And the fact that it all took place in one area, which is, like, the outside of Ba Sing Se, was really cool, because I feel like for so long they travel all the time, and there's so many scenes in different areas.
Also, you see Zuko and Iroh going into Ba Sing Se as well. Another moment, you get to see another clip of Baby Hope. And Iroh says, "What a handsome baby." And the mom goes, "Thank you." And I was like, wait, is Baby Hope a boy or a girl? Because they say handsome baby. So I'm like, is it a boy named Hope? Or is it a girl? And Iroh just said handsome, thinking it was a boy. And the mom didn't correct it. Because if so, I feel that. My baby has been called a boy multiple times since she's a girl, so relatable. Not that has anything to do with the actual storyline.
Here on the Let's Talk Avatar podcast, we relate with every episode, whether
small or big.
Yeah. This episode was super action-packed. The choreography for it was amazing. I feel bad for the animators, specifically in this episode, because this is the most action we've seen in an episode so far.
The fight scene between Azula and Aang specifically had a lot of great animation.
So there's a portion where they make it into the drill, the gang does, and like Rachel was talking about, they're taking out these beams within the drill to kind of stop it from drilling through the wall. And they realize they can't do all of it at once. They have to kind of attack different areas of the drill. So Aang finally gets out of the drill, and after his fight with Azula, he kind of like makes an X into the top of the drill, and then forms a rock, kind of like a stake on it, and then runs all the way up Ba Sing Se's walls just to like come crashing down on it, and it finally breaks the drill.
Yeah.
Really funny lines from Toph about her being blind.
She opens they're trying to get into the drill, so she builds under it. All of them jump into this hole she's dug, and then she closes it. Obviously it's pitch black, and Sokka goes, it's so dark I can't see anything, and Toph goes, oh, that's so awful.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those funny moments where you're like, wow, Toph, you never cease to amaze me.
Yeah. But they make it into Ba Sing Se. That's pretty much the gist of the episode.
Which leads into the next episode 14. This is, what is this?
It's titled City Walls and Secrets.
And it's definitely an appropriate name for this episode, because the way that Ba Sing Se functions, and I kind of forgot about this to this episode, is a little, like, underground. They don't want people to know what's on the... Like, they don't want the people within the walls to know what's going on outside. Like, in their minds, there's no Fire Nation attacking. There's nothing really going on, and they want to keep it that way.
I think it was a good political commentary on countries that are that way, kind of like communist countries that want to censor people. Mm-hmm. And they're claiming that they're building a utopia by keeping everything hush-hush and people don't know anything, when in fact they're actually destroying their city from the inside out.
Yeah, they're actually harming themselves more than helping. And the Avatar, Aang, is literally there just to talk to the king of Ba Sing Se, to tell him, hey, this is what's going on, I can help you, we need to do something. Because Ba Sing Se is the last big Earth Kingdom, and if it gets taken over by the Fire Nation... It's done. Like they have everything.
Even if you had Ba Sing Se first and no other colonies or like kingdoms, I feel like you'd already have the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah, because Ba Sing Se is, I mean, such a huge, important part of the Earth Kingdom.
It's literally like the biggest kingdom in the world.
Yeah. So this episode is pretty much the gang. I was trying to say Aang, and then I said gang, and it sounded weird. Anyway, it's literally the gang trying to get to the Earth King to tell him, hey, this is what's going on. And there's the Dali that are basically like Secret Service for the Earth King, and they stop them from getting to the king. And that's pretty much the episode, is them the entire time. Oh, and then Judy.
Yeah, so it starts out with the gang actually finding a place to stay, or they're given a place to stay because they already knew the Avatar was on his way, and then they're given like a tour guide whose name is Judy, but she's very creepy and has she looks like she's been brainwashed, and
she doesn't acknowledge anything that, like, the entire time Sokka's trying to tell her, like, we need to go talk to the king, there's really scary stuff going on, and she's just like, oh, I hope you enjoy your time here in the Earth Kingdom. And you're just like,
or anytime they're trying to get information out of any citizen in Ba Sing Se,
she's like,
Judy's in the back shaking her head no,
and
she's
a smile on her face like she's perfect, and she's just shaking her head like, don't say anything.
Yeah, like,
it's
if you
so
say
creepy. And every time Sokka turns around to look at her, she just stops.
Yeah. And
you could tell the people are afraid. Even Toph says something to one of the people that live there, saying like, I can feel you shaking.
Yeah, like this city is ran by fear, and it's obvious.
Easily. And a lot of people don't want to expose what's going on, because if they do, they're going to lose their title within Ba Sing Se, or they're afraid something bad. Obviously, it's run by fear. They're afraid something's going to happen to them.
So this, like, everything that is causing Ba Sing Se to be the way it is, to function the way it is, all of the things that they implemented within their politics or the kingdom were good on their own or good at first, but then you have people like Long Feng who come into power, and it's like, well, he kind of corrupts everything. Because the Dai Li is a good idea for, like, trying to protect the king and his people.
It makes total sense.
It makes sense, but they work so closely underground that nobody, not even the king, knows what's going on. Like, Long Feng is running that country, or the kingdom. It's not the king.
Yeah.
He even says it himself, like, the king can't see you. The king can't do this. It's like, well...
He doesn't have time to worry about this situation. And it's like, this situation will literally kill you guys if you don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, but we have yet to hear the king's opinion on anything. Or even see him. So it's just kind of off. It was an off episode, but it was really fun to watch because they did such a good job at making it feel just oppressive, and like they literally brainwashed Jet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Jet tries to expose
Zuko and Iroh.
Yeah, and obviously no one believes him because they've never seen them firebend. He's like, they're firebenders, turn them away, whatever. And they end up throwing him into like jail. But this jail, it pretty much brainwashes people. And also, at the end, when Long Feng tells the gang, like, hey, the king can't be bothered with this stuff, he's like, your tour guide's going to take you home. And it's a new person now, who is also named Judy, but completely different looking, but the same kind of person. So you know that people are being brainwashed to believe whatever they're believing.
It's very scary.
It is. It has a very, like, eerie feeling to it.
What I also thought was scary is when they're brainwashing Jet, there's this, so there's one Dai Li agent that's holding him, and then there's another agent that is, like, earthbending this lantern around in a circle, and he's basically saying, like, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. There's, like, nothing's wrong with Ba Sing Se. And it's just, like, how many people have they done that to?
Yeah. It's crazy.
But that was that episode. And then going on to the next episode, it's titled Tales of Ba Sing Se.
This one is actually, Isaac said it when we were talking about it. He said this is a very, like, I guess you could say comfy episode. It's a good break in between to make you feel like, oh, you know, there's still some normalcy to some of their lives during all this chaos. Because you first, it's called Tales of Ba Sing Se, but it goes on by saying, like, Tales, the first one's Tales of Katara and Toph, and they go and have, like, a day spa. Then it's Tales of, is it Iroh or Sokka? Iroh. And this made Isaac tear up. It made me sad too, but I didn't tear up. He goes to basically it's not his grave. Is it his grave?
It's basically like each tale is teaching you a life lesson, just really good, kind of common sense things, but no one ever really thinks about them all the time. So it's like a nice refresher to know. And Iroh is going through his own stuff in the city and his daily life, and he's teaching tons of people every day, you know. And at the end of it is when he visits this tree.
Yeah.
And he kind of has like a picnic with his son. It's so sad. And then the music starts playing.
No, he's singing about
Iroh
the soldier.
Is singing. Yeah, but like the instruments in the background, and then Iroh when his voice is like breaking because he's crying.
And he's crying. Yeah, it's just one of those very heartfelt moments where you're like, dang. He imparts so much wisdom into people's lives, but he still has, you know, this that he has to deal with on a daily basis.
Because let's not forget, I think he failed taking Ba Sing Se, but he was in charge of taking it.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think he did take it, but someone retook it over, or he failed. Like, he took it over but failed at it, and it was the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then it goes to Sokka, and Sokka goes to, like, his is really just kind of like, he goes and does some kind of poetry slam situation with some
slam
girls.
Poetry with Sokka.
And then you have Aang,
who is like basically helping the animals, the animal portion, the farm portion.
Yeah.
Of Ba Sing Se.
And then Momo's is literally him trying to find Appa himself. within Ba Sing Se. It's not like he goes out and tries to find him, but you can tell Appa's his best friend, and Appa's not there anymore, and so that's where it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's still a plot-driven episode towards the end, but it's also just a nice relaxer to watch after the drill and then City Walls and Secrets.
Is this when Zuko goes on a date, or is that?
Oh, it is, because there's the last one of the last tales is Zuko.
Yeah, and he goes on a date, and actually kisses this girl, and it's actually really I feel it's the first time you see Zuko really care for someone. Like, he starts to actually have feeling towards this girl.
I think her name is Jen.
Yeah. Oh, I think it is.
Or something with
like
a J.
that. And Iroh's the one that pushes him to do it, and he actually has a good time. And you see him, like, do something nice for her, and you're like, wow, like, I guess you see such aggressive sides of Zuko throughout this, because even though he's no longer with the Fire Nation, he's still defending his uncle and himself. So this was a moment where you just get to see him as relaxed as he could be in that situation, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was just a nice kind of episode where you get to see some stuff go on and just relax from all the chaos that's been going on.
Yeah. But on to the next the
last and final episode.
It is titled Appa's Lost Days. When I first read this, I thought it said Last Days, and I'm like, is Appa dead? Is he gonna die at the end of this? What's happening?
Yeah, this episode, it just makes me sad, because I'm like, I just want Appa to be back with Aang again, you know? And it's him, he ended up getting taken by the circus. I'm assuming probably the circus Ty Lee was part of, because it's a Fire Nation circus. How many circuses are there? And he ends up getting away, but they basically beat him and scare him with fire into submission. And this little boy who actually resembles Aang is the one who tells him, like, get away, go. And he ends up leaving, but then by leaving, he doesn't have anywhere to go, and so he kind of flies around until he finds, like, he'll stop at one place to eat, and then a farmer finds him and scares him away, and then he ends up hiding in this little, like, man-made cave. And Suki actually ends up finding him and is like, oh, like, he's separated, we need to get him.
He literally has been through so much.
She knows that he's separated because when they went to Lake Laogai, yeah, they didn't have Appa there. So Suki knew that they were missing Appa. And she's like, she even she brings the Kyoshi warriors up to him and tells them, this might be our biggest mission yet. We have to get him back to the Avatar. And he has thorns in him. He's obviously been beaten up. Yeah, he literally
just fought this, like, porcupine boar thing.
Yeah, and so they take care of him, feed him, get him cleaned up, and then they're trying to walk him, get him to Aang. And who shows up? Azula and her crew. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And Suki's, like, they end up fighting him, and Suki tells Appa, like, go, run away, go find Aang, we'll be okay. And then he ends up taking off, and he finds Master, is it Paku? Is that his name?
No, it's, Guru Lahim?
No, it's Guru
No, that's a different one.
It's something with a P.
Patik.
Yeah, something like that.
It's Guru Patik.
And he's at the Eastern Air Temple.
Yeah, which is so boss looking.
Yeah, and he tells Appa, like, I purposely came here because I know I need to help you in the Avatar. So I'm waiting here for Aang and you to come see me. And he even tells Appa, like, go find Aang and I'll see you once again. But while Appa's there, he literally tells Appa, you and Aang have such a connection that I can feel Aang just by feeling you. And it's cool because you see the way, kind of like the way that the tree in the swamp is connected to everything.
Yeah, there's like
Aang
this
and
channeling.
Appa have that same connection.
Yeah.
And so he was able to see Aang through Appa, and then Appa takes off, and that's where the episode ends.
Yeah, he ends up, the guru ends up helping Appa figure out where Aang is, and it's Ba Sing Se, and then Appa flies to Ba Sing Se and gets captured by the Dai Li. And we can only assume that he's underground. Yeah.
So my question is, how many episodes until we're to season 3?
4.
Yeah. This is going by so fast.
I know. I mean, we started in, like, what, February, I think?
Yeah. Yeah, we did, because
Yeah, the beginning of February.
Yeah, so it's been like 2 months now that we've been doing this.
It just feels like, for this podcast, it's been going by fast.
Yeah, it has.
Who is your favorite character?
Suki.
Really?
I love Suki.
Yeah. She's just a good character.
And like we talked about later on, I can't wait to see her get her revenge against Azula.
Oh my
God.
God.
I really Suki's one of those characters that I really appreciate. She's just a solid character. I said that last time. Toph, I love Toph just because of her sense of humor. I love that she doesn't let the things... And it's like that episode where they're talking about the tales of Bossing Day. There's a really cute moment between her and Katara where these girls are making fun of her. And Katara ends up telling Toph, because Toph doesn't know what anyone looks like, even herself. And Katara tells her, like, hey, you're really pretty. And Toph's like, really? And it makes her feel good. And I don't know. I love seeing those little moments with Toph because she has such a hard exterior and is hilarious, but also has a really soft moment. So, I don't know. It's hard right now. There's so many good characters.
I'm still going to say my favorite character is Iroh. Like, you just can't beat how wise and how helpful he is to even, like, thugs that are trying to stab him.
Iroh's just... I feel like Iroh's always in my top 3 of characters because he's such a good, solid character, honestly.
Yeah. But with that has been episodes 13 through 16 of Season 2.
Yes.
I am Isaac.
I'm Rachel.
And we will see you hopefully next week.
Yes.
With another episode. It will be the end of Season 2.
Yes, so tune in because you won't want to miss it. These are very intense episodes.
And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Let's Talk Avatar. I'm Isaac.
And I'm Rachel.
You can find us on our website at nonessentialmedia.com.
On Instagram under Nonessential Media.
On Twitter at nonessentialm.
And on Facebook by searching Nonessential Media. Join us next week for another episode of Let's Talk Avatar.
We love you, baby Hope.